So I posed a question on the channel about what is Michigan's ceiling this year. What were your thoughts on it, or what do you think Michigan's ceiling is this year?
Mm. If
Now,
everything
to
go,
to to kind of sorry to cut you off to lay the foundation. It's essentially you're getting those breaks that you need to happen. You need the ball to bounce your way. It does. Like that. If all things go well, what is Michigan's ceiling in your
I would
opinion?
say a repeat of last year. A repeat of last year in terms of winning the Big Ten, getting to the playoff, and probably not winning a playoff game. But maybe a potentially better performance, right? A more competitive playoff game, but they fall a little bit short. Because for one, let me be very honest, it's very, very tough to win in a college football playoff. I mean, it really is only three teams that have a legitimate chance to win a national title, right? The fourth team, really two teams. The third team is kind of an outside shot. The fourth team never has a chance to really win it. They're kind of, and you see that all every year with the 1 versus 4 matchup. It's never close, right? So I think they have a legitimate chance, especially if something dynamic like JJ takes over and he takes his offense to another level. I think they can definitely win the Big Ten again, and therefore go to the CFP. And yeah, I think that's their ceiling. I don't see a scenario. I don't think their program is at a point yet where I can pick them to win a playoff game. Quite, I think they're close. But I need to see. You need to have the depth, man. And like it's if the Georgia game taught us fans anything, us Michigan fans anything, was that there are levels to this. There are legitimately levels to it, right? You know, you could be a really good team and win 11 games, get to the CFP, but the speed, the strength, the depth, the explosiveness that the Georgias and the Alabamas, those type of teams have, um, it's on another level. I mean, we see Notre Dame get to CFP a couple times, and they get their doors blown off, right? And those are some really good Notre Dame teams. I look at Michigan as comparable to those Notre Dame teams in the years past that's made it to the CFP, right? They're really good for our standards, but on that level, man, um, it's tough. So I think it'll be a fun season, a repeat season of last year, and yeah, I think that's like the ceiling.
That is so interesting that you say that.
Oh, why is
I
it?
I just to me, if you're telling me, because so one thing I think number one is Georgia last year. Keep in mind that was a historically good football team, so that wasn't just your normal number two team in the college football playoff. Like they were historically good.
Right.
I
Not
honestly, I
offensively
think the
though.
ceiling would be a national championship. I think if you're
Ooh,
telling me,
okay.
we're
Don't do
talking the
that.
ceiling, Dre. I'm not asking you what do you think is gonna happen. I'm asking you the ceiling, like the absolute ceiling. Like when you look back at it, like man, I mean that is legit. Every break went our way. Health, just yeah. I just don't because to me, I think Alabama is going to be extremely talented. Especially at the quarterback and the DN positions. But to me, when I look at it, and obviously I'm assuming JJ would be the starting quarterback. I think number one, he's special. I think you have enough weapons on the outside and in the backfield to give any defense fits, to give any defense, issues. And you have to keep in mind too of things that happen within games, turnovers. I mean, I saw a tweet with a video that was just saying like we're 2 weeks away from football and showed Bryce Young overthrowing a one of his receivers in Georgia pick six in it. Like anything can happen. So I just yeah, man. I think if we're talking the absolute ceiling, like the best possible outcome in everything, and I'm not saying you go undefeated because I still think that's a very difficult thing to do, especially in the Big Ten. But winning or winning the conference and really once you get past the conference, you're just looking for matchups, right? So And think about this last year. Excuse me. If Michigan gets the 1 seed versus the 2 seed, you if you do see Georgia, it would be in the national championship. So you may have had Cincinnati versus Alabama having them, and if you play Cincinnati, you're wiping the floor with them.
Oh, yeah, we played. I definitely believe we beat Cincinnati last year if we played them. No, 100%. So matchups do matter. You know, I like it. Look, I think I don't know if I brought it up on the show, but I told you I was upset with the way they seeded it last year. I thought Michigan deserved to be the had a legitimate right to be the #1 seed. Understood why they decided to see things the way they did, but I thought Michigan had a legitimate, gripe to be there. And I believe my argument at the time was that they played the most consistent football down the stretch last year compared to every other team in the CFP. I saw a Captain Banana Peel say this could be a 2019 LSU type team. Man, and granted, you did put the disclaimer if JJ performs at his ceiling, but I will say this: that was one of the most historically, that was one of the best seasons in college football history in terms of dominance by a team, especially offensively. So I understand what you're saying. Sure, if JJ McCarthy is Joe Burrow 2.0, absolutely they have a chance to win a national title. Yeah, don't get it twisted. I understand what you're saying there. So I mean, sure, if we're talking like that kind of ceiling, Joe, if we're talking about JJ McCarthy being Joe Burrow-esque 2.0, sure. I mean, why not? Yeah, you could win a national title. I guess for me, the reason why I can't quite go there, the only reason, guys, is I view winning a national title, especially in today's landscape of college football, it's almost like a special fraternity of teams that, like, they just have another gear that a lot of us on the outside don't have, right? Like it's Alabama took Georgia a while to get there, but they always kind of sniffed and flirted there. We've had some teams who've been there who's kind of fallen off, like Clemson, who's been in that rotation. Florida State was really, really good for a couple of years in a row where you thought they had a legitimate chance to win it all. But until you see your team break through, it's really, really hard for me to be like, man, that's realistic because you just feel so far away. It feels like there's good team and there's great team and there's like it's a gap in between the really good teams and the great teams, right? And I feel like Michigan's best years we've been really, really good teams but never great, and we're like it's like this gap. So I guess that's why in my mind I can't see it. I would jump for joy and be lost in just pure football ecstasy if we do have a season like that. And trust me, and one of my biggest thing that people say I was complaining about last year was the way the offense looked. If we look like offensively like LSU looked in 2019, oh man, we're gonna have a lot of fun on this post game show, right? No, we're gonna have a ton of fun. I think we're gonna be drinking a lot of Kool-Aid, But yeah, I mean that's quite the fantasy. But I guess it's possible.
I mean, I'm not going to go to 2019 LSU. They're just to remind everybody, their starting quarterback threw 60 plus touchdowns.
Yeah, it was probably the best statistical performance. Like Larry Dez, it was like probably the best, most dominant quarterback performance in college football history. I mean, it was insane. Joe Brady making the calls, the chemistry with Joe Burrow, and I mean, gosh, Jefferson was the year before, right? He wasn't on that team.
No, Jefferson was absolutely on that team.
Jefferson was on that team. I mean, you had
Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase. You're talking about elite talent.
We're a ton,
elite talents on the outside. I'm just saying, like, I get what Captain Banana Peel was saying, but I'm just, that's a heck of a star to shoot for.
I think Michigan's got. I think they do have the talent to have a high level offense. Absolutely. Now we're talking about a historic offense, but to me, it has to be JJ, but it also has to be the play calling. Like the play calling has to be there as well because we talked about it with Cade, and it just and someone had commented on one of the videos that kind of got cut up in just a segment, but just mentioned that it almost doesn't matter who the quarterback is if Harbaugh and the staff is going to handcuff them the way that
Absolutely.
he traditionally does. Now,
Absolutely.
I'm still willing to give him, the grace to, because he has shown from the what 20 months ago until now that he does have the ability to change. Now, before that, he really hasn't. So I'm still gonna give him the opportunity. But I agree with that viewer that traditionally he has done that. Even with Shea Patterson, I mean the history is there for his time at Michigan. So no matter what, the play calling has to change. But I also think that JJ is going to be that rocket ship that can send Michigan to the level that you don't think that they can get to.
Well, I mean, and that's a part of it too. Like it's for sometimes to get somewhere to get somewhere that you've never been. You have to do things that you haven't done, right? Not trying to get too philosophical,
Oh,
but
you dropping some knowledge.
no, but it's the truth though, because to get to that point, you would have to see a Michigan offense, especially in today's college football. You have to see a Michigan offense that's a lot more explosive. And case in point, and I know we're shooting for the stars once again. I never forget. I believe the first game I watched, it could have been the first game of the year of that 2009 LSU team. Do you remember they played at Texas? They played at Texas.
2019, 2019 LSU or
Yes.
okay,
I
yes,
I
they
never
played
forget
Texas.
they played at Texas. I think it was an ABC game. And I remember watching it, and it was like a back and forth slugfest. I think it was like both in the 40s, right? And LSU went down to uh, where is Texas at? Why am I drawing
Awesome.
a blank? In Austin, and they won a shootout. And I just remember thinking like, man, this is fun. Like this is exciting. This offense is like elite. You get to see it. Like they were just so explosive. And I would have to get that kind of feeling. Not saying as efficient, right? 'Cause we know that's the bar. That's still the peak of probably how you could be as an offense. But I'm just saying I would have to get that kind of feeling to start to change my thought of what we can be. Like, wow, even with the lesser opponents, there's like just from an ideology standpoint, what does Harbaugh, especially if JJ takes over, it's a starting quarterback week one. Just because we're playing a lesser opponent, did we still have a what 45, 50, I don't know, a 65, 35 ratio run to pass, like or is it flipped? Are we slinging that ball around the field,
Hmm.
and being explosive, even against a lesser opponent? Like that helps. That will start to change my view because it might be a sign that with this special talent in JJ McCarthy, this coaching staff is saying, here's the ball, take us there. Here's the ball. Grip and rip it, baby. Let's see what you got. And that will be incredible.
Yeah, because I mean we were on this channel last year with 10 and 15 pass attempts from Cade, and that just yeah. If JJ is a starter and that happens, it's just I'll be a little frustrated, but I'll be patient because last year I was I was annoyed with it. Just
We
didn't
both
just
were.
didn't think it could get there. And we were wrong because you got to the Big Ten championship, you won it. So we were wrong on that front. So we'll see what happens. I'm still Team JJ. Think you are Team Cade, but
I don't like that. I don't like. I don't like the way
that
that.
is. I
I
asked you to
know it
plant
was
your
my
flag.
topic.
Flag is
I
planted.
know it was my topic, but damn it, like I don't
Flag is
like the.
planted.
It is, but it wasn't
You
like I
can't
was
move your flag.
saying. It wasn't like I was saying Kate is better than JJ. I actually
No,
think
I
from a
didn't say no, no, no. And that's not what I said. I just
I
said I
know,
am
but
Team
I just want
JJ.
to
You're
be
Team Cade.
clear because some people they only hear what they want to hear. I believe JJ McCarthy is clearly the more talented quarterback, but I planted my flag with Cade because he is a safer option. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I think JJ clearly has the higher ceiling. Dre is not saying Cade is better than JJ. Okay, So just because
Right
I'm
here.
quote unquote team Cade doesn't mean that I don't see what JJ can be. Okay,
Me and
God,
the Nate the Great.
I can
Team
already see
JJ.
now, man. JJ's about to take over the Rams, and he's about to just kill it. And every freaking show, people are gonna be like, "Dre wanted Cade to start." Like, I want the kid. Whatever, you can't win.
Listen, when you do what we do, we're there's always going to be a time where we're wrong. Always, 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 always. So yeah, you
All
just
right,
gotta
it's about to
deal with
happen.
it.
That's what's going to happen, dude. JJ's about to literally kill it, and it's going to be every week. I'm about to hear it. Oh my God, you wanted Cade to start? Yeah, I bet Cade couldn't throw for 350. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh man.